Welcome to a great day with Hunter Mizar, and today I'm in the Tom Faylash Gymnasium at Weezer High School, sitting down with starting returning senior guard Josh Mizar. This is a special interview for me. This is my son. So Josh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is your senior year, and you've been playing basketball in Weezer a long time. We moved here 11 years ago. And you were a first grader when you started your first grade year here at Weezer. So you've gone through the rec department, you've gone through the middle school, and now you're playing on the big show.
Yeah.
Your senior year, this is it. Tell me, kind of, how does this love for sports start? I mean, how did it begin?
Well, I mean, to tell you the truth, it kind of started with you.
Okay.
We would always back when we were in Cami, we'd stay at the elementary school gym there. We'd play there. We'd play outside. We moved here. We would play in the mornings before school. We'd play after school. We'd play all the time, just one-on-one, going at it.
Right.
I had a lot of games where I lost and I cried because, I
remember those days.
Your host here would just block my shot every time. But
Tables have turned a little bit.
A little bit, I'd say. But it started with you, and then when we got here, all my friends, they combined too, and it's just been a great community to play in, and it's been a fun ride.
I just don't feel like, and this is my perspective, that I had to push you to be active. I just remember you as a little guy that always climbing on stuff, always needing to do things, never the guy that wanted to sit still, didn't want to be inside. So I don't feel like I had to push you necessarily to be athletic. You always wanted to be active. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, when you're little, then you don't ever want to sit still, and that kind of just stayed the same throughout my whole career. So
right.
Yeah.
Because I remember trips where we would go to the coast and you were frustrated that all we were doing was hanging out inside. So I had to go find a gym, and you needed to put up shots in middle school. I remember we traveled to Europe, and you were frustrated looking at churches and museums, and all you wanted to do was like climb on statues and things. So you've always been this guy that's like, let me at him. I want to be active. I want to be doing something. I want to go.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about your sports that you've played, because when we first moved here, I really remember that's one of the first things I did is I signed you up for the rec department. They were playing soccer. So you were playing soccer for a couple of years in the beginning. You were a t-ball kid. I remember there was some baseball that you were playing in the very beginning. Every summer it was swim team. You were in swimming. And then when we got to rec department, I remember how excited you were to be able to play football for the first time. And so you were playing football, and then we get to middle school, all of a sudden tennis shows up on the radar, and you were actually really good at tennis.
District champ.
District champ, yeah. So, you've had a lot of sports that you played. And just tell me a little bit about, you just came off the football season, and I won't want to hurt your feelings or nothing, but I was a little surprised how much you played this last year.
Yeah, me too.
Because you kind of sat on the bench a lot last year, and you were one of the role players. You weren't the best. We know that.
Yeah.
But you're one of those really consistent guys. How many touchdowns did you have?
Like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your high school career, because you really did focus on basketball.
Right.
And I think that was your choice. I don't think I tried to push you. But so then when you played football, it was kind of like you had to make a decision. And I know for us, like our freshman year, you really wanted to make JV, but you end up on the freshman team, which was fine. But I think there was something in you that said, I really got to commit to this sport and I got to get better. But so your freshman year, you get sick for a while.
Right.
Because that's the COVID year.
Yeah.
And so it took you a while to get your feet under you, and it looked like we may not even make it the route of the champions.
Right.
And then you come back.
So walking through that, we played Fruitland. Fruitland was not a very good team for the freshman level, at least.
Yeah.
But I was out. We barely lost to them. I believe Yeah, we barely lost them by some free throws, but
Yeah.
that was a heartbreaker. I wasn't playing; I was watching from like on FaceTime and stuff.
Yeah.
But the next game we came back, we're going against McCall. McCall's like the best team in the league at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had 3 points that game because I was so gassed the entire time, and it wasn't looking good.
Well, we could tell from the stands.
Yeah,
like
no,
you just weren't the same player. You
was
were
not good.
You were tired. You didn't have your legs.
Yeah. So then after that, I don't know. We had like 2 games or something crazy. Actually, Xander stepped up in a big way for us that season, and especially in the playoffs time, it was definitely both of us. It was a contributing factor right there. And then in that district championship, kind of McCall was like, they were warming up. They weren't very serious about everything, but I was feeling good. I was feeling like myself again.
Yeah.
Had around I want to say 15 points. Xander had about 15 points. I don't know. I think he had 17. I don't know. He barely outscored me, but yeah, it was like we had all the points, and then I think there was the rest of the team had 6 or something like that. But yeah, it was a great performance by all of us. I feel like it was. I don't know. Basketball is definitely a team sport, so yeah, it was without him or without our guys that were rotating us in and giving us those passes and those assists. We couldn't have done that without him. But we did get that district championship in McCall freshman year.
So your sophomore year, you opt to not play other sports, and you just focus in. So we find an AAU team.
It worked freshman season. I was swinging JV varsity tennis,
Right.
and then from there, I was like, I'm not gonna be in this swinging position. I'd rather focus on something that I'd want to be good at.
Right.
So I joined Uptempo, this AAU program in Nampa.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it all started. We went from in the
Which
summer,
was a huge commitment. You got to drive an hour to get there. These practices are next level with athletes. I mean, just
There's
monsters.
Several
there.
6'5" guys there. I was getting dunked on in practices. It was crazy.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, it's like you're basically going home right after school, grabbing something quick to eat, if even that. Then you're heading on the road and you're playing, and then coming back, and then it's your commitments on the weekends. I mean, it was a big commitment.
Right. Yeah.
But it almost took you kind of the next level, I feel like.
I feel like that really exposed me to what the competition is, not just because Weezer's kind of a small pool.
Right.
And I'd like to think I'm a big fish in a small pool.
Yeah.
And when you're out there, then you're more of an average sized fish in
Right.
a huge pool. So it really exposed me to a lot of great things that I can do just to better myself and the great talent that's out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, you basically had 2 years in AAU, up-tempo, playing kind of year-round stuff.
Right. I decided to quit football sophomore season.
Right.
To just focus on basketball.
Yeah. So then the decision to come back to football happened your junior year.
Yeah.
Walk me through a little bit of that decision.
It was so the AAU practices were just 2 times a week, and the rest of the days of the week, I would go to the gym just to get stronger. I'd put up shots and stuff, but I kind of got bored. I wasn't active enough because we talked about how I'm an active guy, but I wasn't feeling the activeness. I got kind of bored with it. So
Yeah. But I always got kind of a sense, and maybe I'm wrong, that you wanted to be with your Weezer guys.
yeah.
And in a town like Weezer, the guys aren't going to just play one sport. Usually they're going to play 2 or 3 sports. And so it was almost kind of like I got the impression of, hey, I'm in the trenches with these guys. This may not be my favorite sport, but I want to be there to support them, and I want to do what I can. And
Yeah, I think that it's huge. Coach Harrison was actually talking to me about this outside before this football season because I was still kind of debating AAU or football for both seasons that I did. But he really instilled in me that without calling an Esau on the basketball court, then I can't do it. So I got to show them that I'm going to show up for the football field. They're my senior guys. We've been putting in work together all throughout this time, Karsten, all these guys that play football too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm just thinking, you've been playing ball with these guys for 11 years. That's a long history.
We got a lot of chemistry.
You guys have been in this together, doing it for a long time. So you lost a couple of seniors. You lost Jack, you lost Carter, you lost Braden. So now we're needing some juniors to step up to fill that role. Talk to me a little bit about how do you feel this upcoming season's going? What does it look like?
Yeah, to be honest with you, we got 12 guys that could start any game. I got faith in our guys. We got people that can hit shots. A lot of these players, they followed in my footsteps, the younger classes. Owen, Shade, Braden, I think Grant too. They all committed to up-tempo as well. They've been putting in a lot of work, and it's starting to. I can really see it paying off. And there's even sophomores that we got Garrett and Zane. They played football this year. They didn't focus on basketball, but you can tell that they've been grinding and stuff. And we've got a lot of guys that are going to be good this year. They're going to be a threat. So any 12 of our guys, I could see us in a starting position. And I mean, I got faith in every one of them.
Because I think there's a lot of these guys that are just great athletes in general.
Yeah.
They're just good at sports. They have that kind of mindset, that kind of mentality. So it feels like you kind of had to shift in middle school from being the point guard, handling the ball, bringing it up, to when Colin kind of came, he was more the floor general, and then you were more like the off guard. Tell me, how does that transition work? Because, I mean, it was a shift for you, but you didn't seem resentful for it. You seemed to embrace it.
You know, at first, I wasn't like upset about it or anything, but like I wasn't anticipating getting that starting point guard position. But I mean, it didn't happen. But to be honest, that's the best thing that could have happened for me because I mean, Colin, he sets me up perfectly for threes. He's got a lot of IQ for the game. If I back cut, I know he's going to find me. If I need a skip pass, he's going to find me. So I mean, he gives me the ball a lot and allows me to be in opportunities where I can score. So I mean, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously starting quarterback and point guard. I mean,
he's got vision.
He has that court vision, that field vision that I think is really needed to help you guys out. I think a lot of people, they look at you as kind of a shooter, a three-point specialist. And I don't think people realize that doesn't just come on accident. I mean, I don't think people really contemplate how many hours you have sacrificed. I mean, I remember there were summers that you lived at Memorial Park outside at that gym. I remember when you were in junior high, you were like, I got to get up early because there's like a 20-minute open gym, and 7th grade you was battling out against 8th graders, and
just open scrimmages,
you were just always a gym rat. And you have, especially, I don't know if people realize this, in this football season, you would go to football practice, and then after that, you and I would go into a gym, and you would put in hours putting up shots, perfecting your craft. And it was, I can't think of more than 2 or 3 times I've said to you, hey, do you want to go into the gym? And you turned me down. You're always game to go in. And if you weren't putting up shots, you were in the actual gym lifting weights. I mean, just talk to me about what kind of dedication does that get? And do you feel like you get burned out? How do you keep fresh on that?
I mean, it's a lot of recovery. So, I mean, I've always had the mindset, if you work the hardest, then it's going to pay off. And, you know, I've seen that happen. I've seen guys who like could be great, but you know, they didn't put in the time that I put in. And, you know, there could be guys that used to be better than me, but you know, they shifted in a different direction and, you know, maybe dropped this sport, went for another sport. And I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, I did that for football, but, you know, I've really put in a lot of time for this, and I put in a lot of recovery too. You know, I'm ice baths, I'm on heaters and stuff like that. It's like, if you're going to be doing this much active stuff, then you got to be willing to do the out of cost too. So,
but I guess what I'm wondering is, have you ever looked at the game of basketball and just went, I'm burned out on it. Like I'm just tired of playing.
That's not for me.
Yeah. Okay. When you think about the upcoming season, are there any games that in your mind you've kind of circled? Any that you're saying, I've been battling in this school for the last, you know, however many years, and I'm looking forward to my senior year one more time. Are there any of those schools out there that just go, man, I can't wait till we go and play that one?
What I want to do?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a little bit of a personal feud, but McCall, I'm coming for their throats. That's kind of my mindset. I'm coming straight for them. I'm coming for Homedale, and you know, those two teams especially, those are the teams that we got to lock in for. And, you know, my mindset going into it is that we're better than them, and we're going to show it. And I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of their players haven't given us the props that we deserve. Yeah. And I mean, this season, I feel like we're really going to show them. So they're going to have to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the season's just a few days away. Number 10, are we sticking with that number?
Sir.
Number 10. Look for number 10. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great program.
Sure.
And I think Weiser has been a great place for you to grow up. It's been a great place for you to play in all these sports. I mean, we have just numerous coaches that have just invested in you. I'm grateful for. Great players that you are going to have lifelong friends with. And, you know, we're going into, I think, just a great season with great things ahead. So, Well, thank you for watching A Great Day with Hunter Mizar, and we'll see you at Tom Falash Gym for some of these upcoming games. Take care.